Let me see if I can start off with this Bernie video. Here we go right now. So this was actually a interview that he did, a very short interview that he did. And I guess it was to address the comments that he made as far as the Democratic Party turning their back on the working class. And some Democrats didn't like what he was saying. And I got a couple questions for y'all afterwards to see if y'all liked what he was saying, if you liked when he said it, if it holds any weight. And let's take a look at that. So we shall get into this Bernie video. And here we go. Sanders
issued a scathing statement after the vice president's loss in what he called a disaster. Sanders issued a scathing statement after the vice president's loss in what he called a disastrous campaign, saying, quote, "It should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party which has abandoned working class people would find that the working class has abandoned them." And independent Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont joins me now. Senator Sanders, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here on this Sunday after Election Day. Let's start right there. Your criticism, incredibly direct. You say you think the Democratic Party has, quote, abandoned the working class. How exactly do you think Democrats have abandoned the working class, Senator?
Look, the working people of this country are extremely angry. They have a right to be angry. In the richest country in the history of the world, today, the people on top are doing phenomenally well, while 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and millions of families work.
And first, hold up. First off, shout out to my bros in the building, Doug, Zylo, Brandon. I'm not sure if Zylo's my bro or not. But yeah, all right, so shout out to Brit as well. All right, so first and foremost, before I continue the video, hold on. And make sure that y'all make sure that you like. It's going to help for the algorithm, get as many people in the building as possible engaging in these conversations. That's what we strive to do. But first off, my apologies. Happy Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day. My big bro reminded me, Brandon, happy Veterans Day. That's something that we need to salute. We need to understand that, anybody that's risking their lives for the greater good of our country, we definitely have to salute that. We have to salute that. We have to appreciate that. It's very easy for us to sit over here and talk about wars going on in different places when we're not actually in the game. It's real easy to armchair quarterback. But for those that sacrifice their lives, risk their lives and their entire families, we salute y'all. We appreciate y'all. And we love the work that y'all are doing, sticking up for us, defending us. And yeah, we're just super appreciative. So definitely want to shout that out. But let's continue with the video.
That their kids are in the richest country in the history of the world. Today, the people on top are doing phenomenally well, while 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And millions of families worry that their kids are actually going to have a lower.
I don't know who Bernie's around or what stats he's looking at, but I would almost think that number 60% is higher than that. What do y'all think? I think that, I don't know. Well, what qualifies as paycheck to paycheck? Maybe that number sounds about right. But yeah, I'm almost thinking that the number should be higher.
Standard of living than they do. You got the top 1% owning more wealth than the bottom 90%. We're the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all of our people. 25% of our seniors are trying to live on $15,000 a year or less.
That's crazy. 25%. Did he say 25% of our seniors are trying to live on $15,000 or less a year? That's crazy.
The highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth. And the gap between the people on top and everybody else is getting wider and wider. And then, Kristen, on top of all of that, we got a corrupt campaign finance system which allows billionaires to buy elections. So if you're an average worker out there, you're saying, hey, I'm working longer and longer hours, going nowhere in a hurry, worried about my kids, and yet the people on top have never had it so good. Where is the Democratic Party? Are they prepared to stand up to these powerful corporate interests, raise the minimum wage, fight for health care for all people, make sure that all of our kids get the quality education that they need, expand Social Security? Are they prepared to do those things? That's the issue that we have to address.
Well, as you know, your statement was met with some sharp reaction as.
And hold on, I see a comment that I want to tap into. So Zylo wrote, and shout out to my bro Mark in the building as well. Good morning, bro. Grand Rising. So Zylo wrote, billionaires have been buying the election. It's now apparently a problem because Trump won. What's so funny about it, and Zylo, we're getting ready. I was going to save this video for the end, but maybe I'll actually tap in with it a little bit earlier than I thought. I believe I have a video on here. Yeah. So wait, yeah, I have a video on here later that details exactly how much each candidate spent. And my numbers, if I'm remembering correctly, it was something like Trump spent about 400 million. And I think Kamala spent like almost $1 billion. Hold on. I may be exaggerating, but hold on. Let's Google that. Let's Google that. How much money did Kamala Harris raise? 1 billion. See, I didn't want to say it because it sounded crazy. I knew in my mind that it was $1 billion, but I remember looking at the numbers last night and I'm like, yo, even saying $1 billion, to say that a candidate spent $1 billion, $1 billion. And we're going to take a look a little bit later on about the breakdown of how that money was spent. But that's insane. That's insane. I mean, it just sounds crazy. I don't really know if does that sound crazy to y'all? Kamala Harris spent $1 billion. She raised $1 billion. Is that register under everybody? And what's so funny is, Zylo, it's funny that you say it's now apparently a problem because Trump won. Yeah, everything's a problem now that Trump won. Everything's a problem now that Trump won. So Britt said that she spent over $1 billion. Wow. And Zylo said, okay. And so all right, so these stories are actually true. All right, so Zylo said, and is now in debt. That's how corrupt Democrats handle money compared to Trump. What's this whole in debt story? I have to take a look at that because Maya was telling me that yesterday or the day before, and I'm like, what? What do you mean she's in debt? Like, how is she in debt? They just raised all that money, and yeah, 20 million in debt. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, let's keep going. Do y'all think Bernie has a point? And as y'all are watching this, I want to some of the questions that I had as I was watching it is like, where's this energy coming from, Bernie? I know you put out a couple different feelers out there, and we actually covered it on the show where you were kind of complaining about the process and you called out Kamala Harris. One thing that you did do, which Bernie did call out Kamala Harris. So even as I'm saying it, because I was going to say, Bernie, why didn't you say this earlier on? But he did actually say that Kamala Harris was going to say one thing to win the election, to potentially win the election. But then when she got in office, Bernie said that she would go back to being exactly who she was. So Bernie did say that, but I didn't feel like it was as strong as this. In my opinion, it's easy to talk ish after the election when you see that Kamala won, but it would have held a lot more weight if you would have done this before, because if Kamala won, Bernie Sanders wouldn't even be saying this stuff. He wouldn't be on Meet the Press right now. He wouldn't have this type of energy because they won. But the problem was, it's not just because she won doesn't mean that the problem, I guess, wasn't still there. Or I guess maybe he did have to see the election and see that people weren't voting for them to see that. But in my opinion, you could have seen that before. Everything that he's saying, you could have seen it before. You could have let people know that this is going to impact the election. I don't know. Was it cool to wait till after, or do y'all think it would have held more weight if he would have came out and did this exact interview maybe a month ago?
As well, this is what Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi had to say. Take a look. I'll get your reaction on the other side.
It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.